So this is Go Math lesson 3.7. So we're talking about rational numbers on a coordinate plane. So up until this point, we've been dealing with integers, right? So integers are all the rational numbers and their opposites. And so we're dealing with positive and negative numbers and how they relate to each other. And then we talked about absolute zero, how they relate to zero. We looked at how they fit on a number line. Well, if I take that number line and I make it go not only this way, so maybe this would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and down here, of course, we have -1, -2, -3, -4. With a coordinate grid, I can move this way as well. So this would go up as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this would be -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. Now, what we've looked at are horizontal and vertical number lines. We just put them together. So where this would come in handy, number one, just off the top of my head, if you ever played the game Battleship, or anytime you have plotted out a room, anytime we've worked with Tinker or coding, graphic design, any of that stuff, it all works in coordinate grid. In your future life, you may deal with virtual reality, you may deal with 3D model rendering. With that, you have a coordinate grid that's also has another axis, right? So this is called the x-axis. It goes this way, right? X just kind of crosses over this way. The y-axis is up here, and I always remember because y comes down. When I'm writing the letter y, it comes down. So the y-axis goes up and down here. How you remember this in an ordered pair is that you're going to run and then you're going to jump. So I need to come this way or this way, and then I can go up and down. So if I'm running over and then falling in a hole, I need to run first, right? You don't just stand there. It's not a cartoon where you're just standing over midair and then falling in a hole. So if I had a number, now this is not a perfect coordinate grid because my lines don't go all the way across, but I need you just to bear with me on how we use a coordinate grid. So if I give myself a number, for example, of 2, 3. 2, 3. Positive 2, positive 3. This is x and then y. Where does this point lie? Well, it's at positive 2, 1, 2, then positive 3, 1, 2, 3. It would be somewhere up here. Positive 2, positive 3. I'm going to run on the x-axis and then jump on the y-axis. And if you look at your coordinate grids, they actually do have an x and y on each axis to try and remind you. The other thing that you can remember, do I do the x-axis first or do I do the y-axis first? In the alphabet, x comes before y. W, X, Y, Z. Okay, so just remember x comes first, then the y-axis. So if I gave myself another one, for example, of -4, -2. -4, -2. Well, first I'm going to start on my x-axis, so we're going to go -4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then my y-axis -2, 1, 2. And that's going to be somewhere around this region. And again, my lines don't go straight across, so I'm just drawing a rough idea here. So just understanding your x and y axis and how ordered pairs work on a coordinate grid. So if I had a word problem, it might look something like this. Find the coordinates of point P, start at the origin. So if I'm looking over here, they may be a little bit difficult to see on the video, so this is P right here, this is R right here, this is Q right here, and this is S right here. So maybe that stands out a little bit more. I apologize for the dark coloring, but this is in your book. So if I'm looking at the coordinates of point P, first thing I'm going to look at is X and then Y. And if you look at the picture, it's hard to see on the video, but in your book you can see that this has a Y right here, and over here it has an X, just to remind you. So we're going to start with X. For P, I'm going to come over until I'm on the line that this is on. 1, 2. It's a -2. And then I go to my y-axis, 1, 2, 3. -2, positive 3. So again, I come over and I'm on -2, and I intercept it at positive 3. -2, positive 3. That's the address where P lives. So again, working with coordinate grids, you need an X and a Y axis. X, you're going to run before you can jump. So X comes this way, Y comes this way, X, then Y, X comes before Y in the alphabet. Again, your coordinate grid is just a vertical and a horizontal number line laid on top of each other, but it helps us move beyond just that two-dimensional space.